Hey guys, MCU Collector here with a new video, and here in this video I'm actually going to review something that's kind of old. I've actually had this for a few months, just been sitting in the box. I just never got around to do it when I had gotten it in, but somebody on YouTube's been requesting it, so here we go. So this is the Beast Kingdom Egg Attack Iron Spider, the Deluxe version, so the EAA-060DX. So the original release is here, so I'll do a comparison with the two. But Beast Kingdom Egg Attack, they re-released the Iron Spider figure from Avengers Infinity War, but they included an unmasked head, which was not in the original release. They updated the arms, the spider arms, and they included a light up head feature, which this one does not have. So some really cool things on there. I'm all in on the Egg Attack figures for the MCU Spider-Man one, so I definitely had to pick up this new update. I'm still awaiting the ones from Far From Home. I know the homemade suit is going to be coming out. They actually announced it Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales, but I think I'm only going to stick to MCU Spider-Man. So right now I think I only have 3 that I'm waiting for. The upgraded suit from Far From Home, the stealth suit, Night Monkey suit, and then the homemade suit, Spider-Man. These ones came out at a time before they had started doing the soft goods. The articulation's great and everything looks good about them, but the soft goods are really going to set them apart. Now, they've already released a bunch with it, you know, the X-Men figures, Cyclops, Wolverine, Spider-Gwen, that kind of thing. So this was kind of before, so this one does not have soft goods, and I don't know how you would do it with the Iron Spider suit. Anyway, but some really cool things. So I'm going to show you guys the comparison between the two so you can check out these Egg Attack figures. And if you don't know, they're actually really, really cool. So let's get to it. Okay, so here is the Iron Spider figure out of the package, and you can see the figure itself is going to be the same from the original release. It's just going to be the highlight of the Peter Parker head, which looks here, and of course it's stylized. You know, all the Egg Attack figures and stuff, when they come with an unmasked head, they're kind of a cartoonish style, but I kind of dig that about them. And then the crazy thing is these eyeballs can be adjusted, like, so you can get them to look the opposite way. You can get them to be all kinds of cross-eyed and stuff like that. So, you know, if you're going to do like certain pictures and things like that, you can either make it look goofy or get some really cool things to make sure that he's focused on a certain point or a certain somebody, or do something like that. And then you can kind of just reach your fingers on in there, and there's kind of pegs that you can just kind of move around and adjust like so. So that is pretty cool. So here we get the updated spider arms themselves. They're actually, I don't think 100% movie accurate, because they're actually black paint on there instead of blue paint, because we know in the movie it was actually blue. So these are actually, they're different from the original ones only in that they sculpted in the lines in here, and then added the paint. So they're basically the same, but still not even 100% accurate, which is a little unfortunate. We get all these interchangeable hands, so you see we have open hands or wall crawling hands, web holding hands, and then whipping hands. On the figure itself is fist hands. And then here we have a bunch of lenses. So there's actually 4 total eye lenses that he comes with, so you can have the different facial reactions, like if he's squinting down, or if he's like surprised, or just the normal look there. So first thing we're going to do is actually take a closer look at the head sculpt with the lights off, so you can see the cool light up feature. Okay, so here's the first set of lenses with the lights on. You can see that they're actually really bright. If I were to turn off all the lights, you can see that they are actually pretty bright, so that is pretty cool. I like that, so I'll have it kind of dim for you guys. And then there's just a magnetic cover at the top of his head. You could just kind of use your fingernail to open it up, and there is a little switch and battery compartment in there, so if you need, if you have like a little screwdriver, then you can remove the batteries if you want. But there you have it, so that is pretty cool. As far as the lenses, they're held on by magnets, but very, very easy to take off, so you can just remove one, and then you could switch them out any way you want, and that's going to look pretty good. So let's do a little bit of this. So we have that one there, we have that one there, that one there, that's the biggest squint, I guess, or the most squinted, and then that one there. So that is pretty cool for the lenses. I really like that. Looking at the figure with the Peter Parker head sculpt, you just pop off the head like most other figures, and then you could pop this one on like so. And then here you have Peter Parker looking all kinds of cross-eyed, which is kind of funny actually. So there you have it on that. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Peter Parker head, and then actually what you could do to make sure you get the eyes in the right spot, you can take the hair off, you could take the face apart. It's kind of like Nendoroids, how it reminds me of how this face comes apart, and then you can really get in there to adjust the eyes however you want them. So if you just want them kind of looking straight, there you have that, even though that one's kind of down low. That's kind of tricky, so you got to spend some time really getting the hang of, you know, where you want those eyes to be, so you can put the face together and then you can pop the hair right back on. Let's see, you want to get the hair in the right spot, of course. And there you have your Tom Holland Peter Parker head. So that is pretty cool. Don't forget, like me, and actually, you know, look at the instructions, because that'll help out, you know, when doing some of these things on these import figures. So like the facial expression and moving the eyes, you know, had I looked at this, I would have known that ahead of time. So always look at these. So this was a pain in the ass to do. So the back piece, you gotta you know, use your thumbnail or something to kind of pull it off, and it just kind of pegs and ports into the back. It's a super pain in the ass to get off, but we have the other piece that has the holes on the back, so you can put that on. It still looks like regular, but what you can do now is you can actually put the spider arms or the pincers, whatever you want to call them, they just port in like so to give it a nice clean look, so you don't have something with like the Marvel Legends where it's got this big old back piece with holes in it. So you could just port them in like so, and then we now have our spider arms. And those look pretty good. You know, the added color really makes it stand out and pop versus the all gold. I like that added detail to it. I wish it was blue so it was actually movie accurate though, but that's still pretty cool. So now let's take a look at his articulation and the spider webs. Okay, so he comes with 3 different spider webs. So we have this one here, and the web is done nicely. It's done in just a translucent clear plastic, but it's got some texture added to it, you know, like the woven lines along the web to kind of give it that realistic movie look that we always get for the webbing. So we have this one that's pretty short, and then we have another one that's basically the same with the ball at the end, just not as long. And then we have a third one that's a little curved, but it's got kind of the hand reaching out, you know, almost like when in Amazing Spider-Man 2 when it's reaching out for Gwen Stacy and she dies. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that movie. So that's pretty cool, but you can see at the end it's got this gold little peg, and what it does is it pegs right into the wrists of the web shooter, so it makes it look like it's coming out of the web shooter like so. So that is actually really cool that they have that feature, and that's going to be on both arms as well. So you could do something where he's got 2 webs coming out, even though I don't have the thwip hands. So you could do something like that. So that is really cool. Okay, so for articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you can move it all different kind of ways around, and then the neck itself is on a ball joint too, so you can get him to look up, you can get him to look down, all kinds of pivot and everything. So there's not a problem moving any of those around. Now the pinchers themselves have several points of articulation. So one right where it ports, so you can kind of move it around. Then of course you can twist it around as much as you want. Then another joint there, and then you can also turn it at that joint. Another one here. This one you're not going to get any kind of swivel out of there. And then you got another one there, another one there. So you can turn it in quite a bit. So great articulation. Now we're going to get those kind of out of the way. I guess I'll just take that whole back piece off so we can look at the articulation of this guy. So the shoulder gets all kinds of range of motion in there, so you can almost like a butterfly because it's on a ball joint, so you can get it to go up. You can get a full swivel, of course, and then you just get all kinds of rotation and movement in there. You get an upper bicep swivel there. You get a double jointed elbow, which works out really well. Wrists swivel, and they're on a ball peg, so you can kind of get all kinds of circular motion. There we have a diaphragm joint, so you can pivot to the side a little bit, pivot to the other side a little bit as well. You can go back a little bit, but not a whole lot. He can come forward a little bit too, but you want to make sure that you pull it forward to get it over his stomach portion, and you can get him to crunch forward. So you kind of want to make sure you're careful with that. Then at the waist we have a swivel but it's kind of a ball joint, so you can get him to tilt a little bit, but you're getting some gaps in the body there. You can tilt the other way. You can tilt back a little bit, but again, you're getting a lot of gaps in there, so I'd stay away from that. Be careful with that. The legs, like with most import figures, you get the drop down feature, so you can get a lot of additional range of motion, but be careful, it's on a ball joint, so you can pop them off. They go on very easily. You get a little bit of a swivel there. You get a double jointed knee, which works really well. There's no calf swivel or anything, but foot is on a ball joint, so you can get it to tilt down a little bit, go up a little bit of pivot, not a whole lot, and you have toe articulation there. So pretty good articulation for this guy. So now let's see him again next to the older one. As you can see, they are the same figure. It's just the Tom Holland head and the light up head, which I really, really like. I'm actually probably just going to display it like this. I don't like crossing, you know, different pieces, so I'm not going to have two on display with the spider arm. So I'll just keep this one with the Tom Holland head and just kind of make it an endgame Iron Spider. For those that are curious, yes, he does come with the exact same stand as the original version. So the only updates are the light up head, the new lenses, of course, and then the added paint onto the spider arm. So those are the only differences. So if you're going to pick up one, definitely pick up the Deluxe and not the regular version. And I do highly recommend these figures because they are all really great. Here is a comparison to the Marvel Legends Stan Lee, so you could kind of see scale and size. Whereas Nendoroids are small figures, these Beast Kingdom Egg Attack figures are actually quite large and fully articulated, and they're just fun. You know, they're not your typical action figure that you're going to do, you know, photography and things like that. It's just one of those fun collectible figures that, you know, to have in your collection, you know, and I recommend picking up at least one, or your favorite character, your favorite team, or whatever the case may be, because they're just coming out with more and more of these. I mean, I think there's a bunch of endgame ones now, all kinds of crazy stuff. I highly recommend them. I think they're really cool figures, but you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of them. Are you going to be passing, or did you pick them up already, since, you know, it's been months since this figure actually came out? But you guys let me know down in the comments below. If you guys liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.